LS motor with a China turbo.
I like this setup, man. It looks like such an aggressive truck. What's up, guys? We're at Midwest Dirt Fest in Michigan, and we have Dave Tacoma over here, known as Dune Deek. He has one awesome Tacoma. It always gets my attention because of the way it sounds. What's so special about that sound, man? What's that sound, actually?
It's got a China turbo on it. That's all it is. LS motor with a China turbo.
Every time I hear this guy on the track, you can hear it winding up, right?
You can hear it spooling.
Dude, it sounds great, man. This thing is definitely something special. And I think the cool thing about this truck is, aside from how gnarly the weather is out here, this truck always looks really, really good. I love the look of it. What glass is on this thing, man?
I think it's Fiberworks front.
Fiberworks? Okay.
And rear, actually, old Hellion. It's old and it's got,
Oh, Hellion. Wait.
it's got an actual...
I know
It's got
Hellion.
an actual Hellion card fiberglassed in on the back of it, so.
I never knew they made glass.
Yeah.
That's awesome,
When I got the truck, it actually, you could see Hellion on the bottom of the door and outline. It wasn't painted on there anymore, but you could still see it on the bottom of the door. Yeah.
So tell us the story. How'd you acquire this truck, man?
I actually traded a 1970 Dodge Dart for it, and it was kind of a basket case Prerunner that I believe it was a race truck in Arizona with leaf springs and the stock motor.
Okay.
And at one point, somebody swapped in an LS, and they tried to do a link job on the back, and they did horrible work. I mean,
Right.
the welds were horrible, so
Yeah.
I had to basically cut it all apart and start over. It was a 2.5 year TIG welding project.
Wow.
I mean, I didn't know anything about trucks. I knew about drag racing and rock crawling, but I didn't know anything about this kind of truck, so I cut it down and started from scratch, and that's how it ended up here. My parents were into dune buggies, like sand rails, when I was a kid.
Okay.
And we'd go to Silver Lake all the time. As we got older, we got into Jeeps and rock crawling and stuff, and we'd still always go to Silver Lake every year because our families always did it when we were kids.
Right.
One day, I believe it was Frank Taylor, we were driving the Jeep down the exit ramp at Silver Lake, and Frank Taylor comes blowing by us at like 100 miles an hour through some like 3-foot whoops. And I'm like, I need to build one of those trucks.
What is that?
It was badass.
A lot of people have that type of experience.
Yeah.
You're out off-roading with the family, four-wheel drive stuff, in the buggies, but then all of a sudden, here comes a Prerunner. And Frank Taylor, man, I'm sure he's inspired a lot of people, man. Frank has gone out west, and he actually competed in our buddy Dirt Cinema Huckfest. Emmanuel and Johnny Gardner, those guys put that thing on, but they were out there and with a leaf sprung truck shooting it like 20 feet in the sky.
He had leaf springs on at the time when I saw him, and then the next summer he came back and he had links on it, and it was, I mean, it was like I needed to build one of those, and that's what I did. I didn't know anything about him, nothing.
Dude,
like zero, so
that's crazy.
Anybody could do it if you got time and just do some research.
How was the difference of being in the Jeep and then being in this?
There's a big difference because you can take the Jeep at 30 miles an hour or the truck at 100 miles an hour.
Oh
so
my
it's
God.
a big difference.
There we go. Ooh, nice, man. That's the best way to do it right there.
So it's basically a stock bottom end 5.3 with, I believe it's a BTR turbo cam. It makes good power as a naturally aspirated motor. We're running 11 pounds of boost with a China GT45. That's like a $160 turbo.
Really?
I did wreck one turbo in Silver Lake.
Okay.
And it was because I had an oil restrictor in it. And when I unrestricted it, put a new turbo on it, I probably put 3,000, 4,000 miles in the dirt with it.
No way, on a turbo.
Yeah, tons of boost. If anybody's ever gonna turbo something and you're gonna run a turbo 400, you're gonna want to remember, I went through 3 motors because the turbo 400s do not like heat going into the torque converter. It pushes in on the crankshaft and it wrecks thrust bearings. I went through 3 thrust bearings, which actually wrecked 2 different blocks, and this is the 3rd time I've rebuilt this one.
Really?
Finally got it under control. If you're ever gonna do it, get hold of me. I can tell you what to do to fix it. It's really easy in the transmission.
Dude, that's awesome.
You gotta bypass some pressure so you're not over pressurizing your thrust bearings. So if you're gonna make a lot of power with a turbo 400, definitely do something about it.
You would think the Turbo 400 would work with the turbos.
Yeah, it's not that way.
It's not that way, man, yeah. So did you have to do any of this new stuff, or?
All of that's new. Everything.
This is all new?
Like from the frame up, all brand new. This is actually an old ESB lower control arms. They did the spindles, which I just reinforced.
Okay.
And that's how it came, and I reinforced the spindles, and I built new upper control arms. I'm still running a single coilover, which is like really the negative part of the truck right now. It definitely needs more suspension. I got the valving in the shocks, as much compression as I can put on it. I'm running transmission fluid in it to try to make it thicker fluid to slow down the travel, but coming off big jumps, it's too much for the single coilover.
It's too much for that?
This winter, I have a project.
Okay, so you're thinking of going internal bypass, or are you going to go bypass? Just right next to it?
Yeah.
I would have never thought that this thing was single coilover.
Yeah,
I mean,
front and back.
You drive it really well, and it seems to handle pretty well, man. The cool thing is that this is an ESB kit, so ESB fabrication, I think was from like Fallbrook area, Escondido. Way back then, yeah. And my buddy Ryan Bonzen, what's up, Ryan?
Yeah.
He has an awesome Tacoma, and that thing has been going for years, hard as hell.
He gave me some good advice.
Oh, he did?
When I was working on it, I called him, or I actually emailed him because I had the ESB arms and everybody talked about it, you know, so I knew nothing about it. And I asked him about valving and stuff, and he said, this is what we used to do. And I tried it out, and it actually worked really well. Ryan
Bonzen has been a friend of Terra since the beginning, and Ryan ain't afraid to send it, man. OG pre-runner, godfather, dude. So I think this is probably what, like 16 inches of travel?
17.
17? Okay.
Strapped at 17. It's as much as the steering can take, because these racks, it turns into a lot of leverage when you get more than like 17 inches of travel, and it will destroy some racks. So that rack has a ton of work done to it just to hold it together.
Just to keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cool. So you did everything.
Everything, yeah.
Insane. We got a Fox 2.0 hydraulic bump right here. And you guys can see he's using that travel right there. So this in itself is acting as the bump, you know, I mean, the last 4 inches.
That's what she said?
And I can see you're using that skid plate too. Look at that,
Yeah,
guys.
we got some dirt packed into the control arm now.
Oh, dang, yeah, look at that, you guys. You're just grooming the track, dude. You know, you're making it work, man. You rebuilt this whole back half?
Back half is about 80% new. We kept a couple of the tubes that came out of the cab and down. These tubes here we kept, but everything else is stuff that I did. Yeah. A radiator.
Oh, you're running the radiator back here.
Oil cooler, transmission cooler, on fuel cell in the back.
What size fuel cell are you running in this?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. It might be 15 or 18 gallons.
So not too big. Yeah, because you guys aren't going on like crazy desert treks, but you know.
Wish we could.
And how does this thing do on gas?
It's pretty good mileage if you're not in boost. If you're in boost, it sucked a half a tank yesterday, just making like 12 laps.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, if you're not boost, it sucks a lot of fuel. So.
Right on, dude. No, but this is a solid setup, and I mean, I think because you do have the gas tank back here, and you're running both spares, it really balances the truck out.
It feels balanced until, I mean, the front can't take much, so you gotta put as much weight as you can on the back.
100%, like a dirt bike, you lean back.
And the back does actually have single coilover as well with a 2-inch bump stop. Which
okay.
It's not excessive, but it actually works quite well.
Oh, and there's only a space for a coilover. Is that another upgrade you guys are thinking of doing in the future, or are you gonna try to work with this guy?
Oh yeah, I'll probably put bypasses on this one, front and back.
And I mean, honestly, you could always internal bypass this thing too, man. That can save you some fab time.
Definitely.
But you know,
Dutch, so whatever kind of used shocks I can find, that's what I'm gonna use.
That's what's gonna work. Right on, dude.
Right.
I like that. We got some safety stuff back here, some fire extinguishers. Did you notch the frame, or?
Yeah, I notched the frame.
You notched it, dude. Great.
Notice the frame's notched at the coilovers as well, because from side to side sway, if you look at the side of the coilovers, it hit the frame when it swings.
Oh, okay.
So I had to notch the frame sideways as well as.
No way.
Yeah, because the coilovers would hit right on the frame.
No way. Wild. That's wild. You have a lot of up travel in this thing.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How much do you think you have? I mean, look at that, you guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that's like.
It has 27 inches of travel strapped.
Okay.
And I think up travel, I mean, it's like 15 inches.
Yeah.
A lot more than it needs, really.
Well, it looks great. You really built a solid machine, man.
That's a stock 9-inch housing, actually, that I just plated up myself.
You just plated, gusseted it, all that good stuff?
Hard to believe, but 31 spline strange axles.
No
have
way.
Held up, yes, for 3 years of beating on it. With
Oh my God,
You
dude.
can do burnouts doing 80 miles an hour and it has not broken axle yet. Which
Oh
is
my.
The axle shafts themselves are strange, and there's no twist in the splines after 3 years. I just took them out this spring, no twist. I mean, the things are running true. It's crazy.
Dude, that is...
I'm just praying that it'll keep together for another couple
Yeah, dude, no, that's great. You guys got to give them some love for that. That is awesome. And then you're running, what is it, a 37? Desert Hawk XMT.
Achilles. I think
Achilles.
they're made in Korea. They were $220 a piece.
Nice. That's actually
Yeah,
pretty
Amazon, $220 a piece.
Dude, there it is, you guys, right here.
Those are kind of bald from burnouts, but the
Right.
a little better.
And then I see you're running the Methods.
Yep.
I don't know what wheel this is. If it's the 103, you guys tell us what wheel this is. You guys can help us out. But these are beadlocks. When you bought these, you didn't even know. You were just like, I need beadlocks.
Yeah, and
And it
I'm
worked
rock
out.
crawling. We had to run beadlocks on everything, so I knew if you're going fast, you probably need some beadlocks. So
Right on, right
a
on.
buddy of mine at 552 Fabrication, and he's a Method distributor. So
Method guy?
He hooked me up with the wheels. Great price.
Heck
And
yeah.
they've been good wheels, actually. You can leave those things aired up for a winter, and they're still at 18 pounds in the spring when you take it out.
Nice. And then, of course, we see these awesome freaking, are these 35-inch paddle tires. How does the truck like these things?
Actually, I prefer the street tires on the dunes. These things, they seem to dig down.
Really?
Yeah, they don't accelerate as good as I expected, so I normally just run the street tires on.
You just air down? What do you air down to?
4 pounds in the back and 6 pounds in the front, and I've never put these on. In fact, I'm probably going to buy some more cheap Achilles tires and put them back
Just throw
there
those
for
in,
spares.
throw these for sale.
Yeah, these are heavier, so they put more weight on the back, which is what I want.
I like this setup, man. It looks like such an aggressive truck. It looks really, really cool. All right, man. Ooh, that's nice.
Any of my LS stuff I run off of what's called micro squirt fuel injection, which is a really cheap, but I like it a lot. It costs $380.
Okay.
And it'll run a motor, and it'll run any turbo stuff you have. It's basically free tuning software. It's awesome stuff, but it won't control transmission. So as long as you're using a turbo 350 or turbo 400, it's great. And I run it on this truck. My wife has a LS powered Jeep that we run the same stuff.
Okay.
And I love it a lot. And I actually run some of my gauges wirelessly through the computer. It monitors everything you need, except for the analog stuff I have on the dash.
Right, right. This is such an awesome setup in here. It looks so solid. And it still has like the stock truck vibe.
Yeah.
And I see you like matched it perfectly too. What radio you running?
Some kind of Chinese radio I got off Amazon.
I'm loving these Amazon deals, bro.
It gets Weatherman channel, and there's only like 4 people in the whole state of Michigan that know what that is.
Yeah, okay, got you.
Yeah. At
That's
Silver
cool.
Lake, it comes in handy if you break your stuff out there. So.
For sure. Sparko wheel, really cool.
Arco wheel, yeah.
Nice
Homemade
tilt.
tilt wheel.
Yeah, that looks good.
The old hot rod turn signal.
hot rod turn signal. I've never seen that before.
If you ever look at an old hot rod that didn't have turn signals, they probably have that.
Is this like Dynomat stuff?
It's like, I think it's called Raptor Liner.
Raptor liner, my
Yep.
bad. Okay.
And actually, Griffin Fabworks did this front part of the cage before I got the truck. When it came from Arizona, it had this back half. Griffin did the front part of this, or parts of it, and I
Okay.
just added grab handles, this brace up here, these
Okay.
grab handles.
Just
and,
some of the detail stuff.
and the bars that come from the back of the dash all the way down to the main seat bar. There's a bar underneath this.
Okay.
Those are all stuff that I added, and there's a bar that goes back to this main support underneath this seat.
This has been really awesome to hang out with you, man, and go over this thing. Other than that, what are the next plans with this thing?
Find some good bypasses for a decent price and
Hit 'em
upgrade
up,
the
hit 'em-
front first.
Okay, okay.
And then work on the rear and basically drive the wheels off it. It's
Drive
so
the wheels.
fun to drive.
Right on,
It's
man.
the most fun. It's like I take it to car shows once a week at Gilmore Car Museum, which is the biggest car museum in the country.
Yeah.
And it's the only pre-runner there, and people love it. I mean, you have Ferraris parked next to you. When you drive a pre-runner in, people don't even know what it is. It's incredible.
They're just probably tripping out like, dude,
Yeah,
this
no
looks
idea.
like a video game.
Yeah,
Or-
every kid that goes past the truck, they look at it like a Tonka toy, and they love it. And I let them get in it, get it dirty,
Yeah.
steer it. I'll start it up, and if they can drive, I would let them drive it.
Dude.
I don't care.
All right, guys, cool. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode with Dave, Dune Deek. You guys can follow him on Instagram and check out the build. If you guys have any questions about some of the parts that he has on this truck, feel free to reach out to him. I'm just gonna throw you out there.
Heck yeah, man.
If you guys have questions too, you guys can throw them in the comments. If you know somebody that's building a pre-runner, send this to them. Maybe this will pump them up and be their motivation to get it done. Again, Dave didn't know what he was getting into, and the pre-runner bug got him, man. And here he is today with this awesome turbo Toyota. So very cool. Thank you so much, man. Thanks for your time. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share the video, and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys around. Thank you.